Welcome to Digital Royalty University. Glad you're joining us. My name is Chelsea Hartling, and I'll be your coach for this class on personal branding. If you haven't already done so, we recommend you take the 8 Royal Rules of Social Media prior to taking this class. It's currently a free class and walks you through the fundamentals of social communication that we've developed over the past 5 years while working with some of the top brands and personalities in the space. It also addresses what we refer to as innovation allergies. You know, the adversities you may face while in meetings trying to prove the value of social media. People say things like, well, we've tried that before and it didn't work, or we don't have time for this. This class will better equip you to recognize and deal with innovation allergies. If you've already taken the 8 Royal Rules of Social Media, then go you! You're already on top of it. You don't have to be a celebrity or the CEO of a company to have a personal brand. Whether we realize it or not, everyone has a personal brand, regardless of age or position within a company. You may be wondering, what does it mean to have a personal brand? Your personal brand is who you are and what you believe in or care about. Essentially, your personal brand is an expression of who you are as a person. It defines your authentic self. Ultimately, we don't decide what our brands are. The people around us do based on how they perceive us. We can, however, take control of our actions and decisions to mold our brands into what we want them to be. Over the past 5 years, Digital Royalty has worked with some of the most powerful brands in the world. It's our mission to share this knowledge with you so you can own your voice and achieve your goals, both personal and professional. Social media is an equal opportunity space and can be a successful tool, whether it's used to help you get into a college, land a new job, find a mentor, or make connections with a loyal brand ambassador. We can use Digital Royalty founder and CEO Amy Jo Martin as an example. She's not a celebrity, just a girl from a small town in Wyoming who's been able to build up a community of 1.2 million Twitter followers. As an entrepreneur, she's been able to use social communication as an asset to help build her business, identify talent, new partnerships, and make connections with mentors and people she now considers good friends. She met Tony Hsieh, the CEO of Zappos.com, over a Twitter direct message, and he's now a good friend, mentor, and investing partner of Digital Royalty. It's important to remember that social media isn't media at all. It's just another form of communication and should be approached with that in mind. Social media is an equal opportunity space that gives each of us the ability to have a voice if we choose. So are you ready to own your voice? Good, then let's get started. During this class, we'll be covering the following areas through practical examples, live demos, and case studies. Identifying your value offering, defining your online voice, developing your content strategy, social media efficiencies and tools, and personal brand success stories. Throughout the class, please use the hashtag RoyalQ to ask questions via Twitter. If you want to join in on the Twitter conversation with other members of Team Renegades, just use the hashtag TeamRenegades. If you're unsure of what a hashtag is, don't worry, we've got your back, and we recommend that you give our Twitter 101 class a spin. We'll get you up to speed in no time. Your personality is truly your differentiating factor and allows you to stand out in the sea of sameness. Just because you're sitting behind a computer or your mobile phone doesn't mean that you don't have the ability to share your personality with the world. Humans connect with humans, not logos. So if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, or an intrapreneur within a company, by developing an online brand, it will only be an asset for your company and help expose the humans behind the brand. With each of the brands and partners we work with, we first start off by helping them identify their value offering, and we're going to do the same here with you. At Digital Royalty, we've developed something called the Value Balance Scale. Each of the buckets on the scale represent a unique value offering. We suggest you select 6 areas of your content that you'd feel comfortable sharing with your followers. These 6 buckets are filled with your content value offering that define you. Are you an avid traveler, a health nut, or a sports enthusiast? It's sometimes hard for us to step outside of our own heads and daily lives and see that what we do on a daily basis is unique. For example, whether you're a small business owner, a blogger, or a student, you have a unique perspective and can offer valuable insight to your audience. The key is to keep the scale balanced. If you tweet, post, or blog about too much content from one specific bucket, your scale will be off balance and so will your overall content strategy. So it's important to vary your content and deliver value in the form of exclusive information, education, entertainment, reciprocation, etc. I can't stress reciprocation enough. That's a huge value that you can offer to your audience. Acknowledging and responding to people is powerful. The great thing about social media is that you can test what works and what doesn't just by listening. After you've listened, make adjustments and try again. Not everything will make a splash, and you'll know right away by the amount of engagement, retweets, replies, comments, etc. that your content receives. Instant gratification or failure. The space is alive and it moves fast, so your messages have a short shelf life. Your value balance scale will help serve as a roadmap for your content strategy, and we'll get into that in just a bit. So now we've got a challenge for you. A royal challenge, in fact. Please take a moment and identify your value offerings. We've provided a downloadable value balance scale document for you to print and work off of. What are your 6 value buckets? Before you tackle this challenge, we encourage you to watch the following video by our pal Simon Sinek about the power of focusing on why you do what you do versus what you do. Simon is a good friend of Digital Royalty and has been fundamental in helping Amy Jo Martin identify her why, which has helped further shape her own personal and professional brand.
There's a man by the name of Captain William Swenson who recently was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor for his actions on September 8th, 2009. On that day, a column of American and Afghan troops were making their way through a part of Afghanistan to help protect a group of government officials, a group of Afghan government officials who'd be meeting with some local village elders. The column came under ambush and was surrounded on 3 sides. And amongst many other things, Captain Swenson was recognized for running into live fire to rescue the wounded and pull out the dead. One of the people he rescued was a sergeant, and he and a comrade were making their way to a medevac helicopter. And what was remarkable about this day is, by sheer coincidence, one of the medevac medics happened to have a GoPro camera on his helmet and captured the whole scene on camera. It shows Captain Swenson and his comrade bringing this wounded soldier who'd received a gunshot to the neck. They put him in the helicopter, and then you see Captain Swenson bend over and give him a kiss before he turns around to rescue more. I saw this, and I thought to myself, where do people like that come from? What is that? That is some deep, deep emotion when you would want to do that. There's a love there. And I want to know, why is it that I don't have people that I work with like that? You know, in the military, they give medals to people who are willing to sacrifice themselves so that others may gain. In business, we give bonuses to people who are willing to sacrifice others so that we may gain. Yeah, back. Right? So I asked myself, where do people like this come from? And my initial conclusion was that they're just better people. That's why they're attracted to the military. These better people are attracted to this concept of service. But that's completely wrong. What I learned is that it's the environment. And if you get the environment right, every single one of us has the capacity to do these remarkable things, and more importantly, others have that capacity too. I've had the great honor of getting to meet some of these who we would call heroes, who've put themselves and put their lives at risk to save others. And I asked them, why would you do it? Why did you do it? And they all say the same thing, because they would have done it for me. It's this deep sense of trust and cooperation. So trust and cooperation are really important here. The problem with concepts of trust and cooperation is that they are feelings, they're not instructions. I can't simply say to you, trust me, and you will. I can't simply instruct two people to cooperate, and they will. It's not how it works. It's a feeling. So where does that feeling come from? If you go back 50,000 years to the Paleolithic era, to the early days of Homo sapien, what we find is that the world was filled with danger. All of these forces working very, very hard to kill us. Nothing personal. Whether it was the weather, lack of resources, maybe a saber-toothed tiger, all of these things working to reduce our lifespan. And so we evolved into social animals, where we live together and work together in what I call a circle of safety, inside the tribe, where we felt like we belong. And when we felt safe amongst our own, the natural reaction was trust and cooperation. There are inherent benefits to this. It means I can fall asleep at night and trust that someone from within my tribe will watch for danger. If we don't trust each other, if I don't trust you, that means you won't watch for danger. Bad system of survival. The modern day is exactly the same thing. The world is filled with danger, things that are trying to frustrate our lives or reduce our success, reduce our opportunity for success. It could be the ups and downs of an economy, the uncertainty of the stock market. It could be a new technology that renders your business model obsolete overnight. Or it could be your competition that is sometimes trying to kill you. It's sometimes trying to put you out of business, but at the very minimum is working hard to frustrate your growth and steal your business from you. We have no control over these forces. These are a constant, and they're not going away. The only variable are the conditions inside the organization. And that's where leadership matters, because it's the leader that sets the tone. When a leader makes the choice to put the safety and lives of the people inside the organization first, to sacrifice their comforts and sacrifice the tangible results so that the people remain and feel safe and feel like they belong, remarkable things happen. I was flying on a trip, and I was witness to an incident where a passenger attempted to board before their number was called. And I watched the gate agent treat this man like he had broken the law, like a criminal. He was yelled at for attempting to board one group too soon. So I said something. I said, why do you have to treat us like cattle? Why can't you treat us like human beings? And this is exactly what she said to me. She said, sir, if I don't follow the rules, I could get in trouble or lose my job. All she was telling me is that she doesn't feel safe. All she was telling me is that she doesn't trust her leaders. The reason we like flying Southwest Airlines is not because they necessarily hire better people, it's because they don't fear their leaders. You see, if the conditions are wrong, we're forced to expend our own time and energy to protect ourselves from each other. And that inherently weakens the organization. When we feel safe inside the organization, we will naturally combine our talents and our strengths and work tirelessly to face the dangers outside and seize the opportunities. The closest analogy I can give to what a great leader is like being a parent. If you think about what being a great parent is, what do you want? What makes a great parent? We want to give our child opportunities, education, discipline them when necessary, all so that they can grow up and achieve more than we could for ourselves. Great leaders want exactly the same thing. They want to provide their people opportunity, education, discipline when necessary, build their self-confidence, give them the opportunity to try and fail, all so that they could achieve more than we could ever imagine for ourselves. Charlie Kim, who's the CEO of a company called NextJump in New York City, a tech company, he makes the point that if you had hard times in your family, would you ever consider laying off one of your children? We would never do it. Then why do we consider laying off people inside our organization? Charlie implemented a policy of lifetime employment. If you get a job at NextJump, you cannot get fired for performance issues. In fact, if you have issues, they will coach you and they will give you support, just like we would with one of our children who happens to come home with a C from school. It's the complete opposite. This is the reason so many people have such a visceral hatred, sort of anger at some of these banking CEOs with their disproportionate salaries and bonus structures. It's not the numbers. It's that they have violated the very definition of leadership. They have violated this deep-seated social contract. We know that they allowed their people to be sacrificed so that they could protect their own interests. Or worse, they sacrificed their people to protect their own interests. This is what so offends us, not the numbers. Would anybody be offended if we gave a $150 million bonus to Gandhi? How about a $250 million bonus to Mother Teresa? Do we have an issue with that? None at all. None at all. Great leaders would never sacrifice the people to save the numbers. They would sooner sacrifice the numbers to save the people. Bob Chapman, who runs a large manufacturing company in the Midwest called Barry Waymiller, in 2008, he was hit very hard by the recession, and they lost 30% of their orders overnight. Now, in a large manufacturing company, this is a big deal, and they could no longer afford their labor pool. They needed to save $10 million. So, like so many companies today, the board got together and discussed layoffs. And Bob refused. You see, Bob doesn't believe in head counts. Bob believes in heart counts. And it's much more difficult to simply reduce the heart count. And so they came up with a furlough program. Every employee, from secretary to CEO, was required to take 4 weeks of unpaid vacation. They could take it any time they wanted, and they did not have to take it consecutively. But it was how Bob announced the program that mattered so much. He said, it's better that we should all suffer a little than any of us should have to suffer a lot. And morale went up. They saved $20 million. And most importantly, as would be expected, when the people feel safe and protected by the leadership in the organization, the natural reaction is to trust and cooperate. And quite spontaneously, nobody expected, people started trading with each other. Those who could afford it more would trade with those who could afford it less. People would take 5 weeks so that somebody else only had to take 3. Leadership is a choice. It is not a rank. I know many people at the senior-most levels of organizations who are absolutely not leaders. They are authorities, and we do what they say because they have authority over us, but we would not follow them. And I know many people who are at the bottoms of organizations who have no authority, and they are absolutely leaders. And this is because they have chosen to look after the person to the left of them, and they have chosen to look after the person to the right of them. This is what a leader is. I heard a story of some Marines who were out in theater, and as is the Marine custom, the officer ate last, and he let his men eat first. And when they were done, there was no food left for him. And when they went back out in the field, his men brought him some of their food so that he may eat. Because that's what happens. We call them leaders because they go first. We call them leaders because they take the risk before anybody else does. We call them leaders because they will choose to sacrifice so that their people may be safe and protected, and so their people may gain. And when we do, the natural response is that our people will sacrifice for us. They will give us their blood and sweat and tears to see that their leader's vision comes to life. And when we ask them, why would you do that? Why would you give your blood and sweat and tears for that person? They all say the same thing. Because they would have done it for me. And isn't that the organization we would all like to work in? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Have you ever thought about who your brand is? How can you humanize the person behind the logo or blog? At Digital Royalty, we help our partners identify their character description. A character description is your roadmap and guide for your tonality and personal brand. It helps keep you in check. Think of yourself as an actor being cast in a movie. Your character description is like your script. Once you step on set or stage, you're playing that role. And the same goes with your social media voice. The character description defines what the overall brand description is, who the voice is, and who the voice isn't. We recommend you take a stab at creating this document. And once you have it, keep it close by to help you stay consistent. A character description is extremely helpful if you're managing your own single account or if you have multiple people accessing a single Twitter account for your department or company. That way, whoever is taking the wheel and communicating with your online community will stay consistent in tonality and messaging. Your content strategy, which we'll discuss next, will evolve, but your character description should remain consistent with your brand. Up for another challenge? We've provided you with a downloadable guide so that you can create your character description. You've already created your value balance scale, so now you can identify your voice. Think about things like, should my voice use emoticons? Are we overly positive or more reserved? Use this guide to help you work through this process, and again, don't hesitate to reach out with questions. Shoot us a tweet or an email. We're here to help you. Now that you have two key elements defined, your value balance scale and your voice, you can begin to map out your content strategy. Your content strategy is developed around your 6 value offerings, and this is where it gets fun. It's important to remember when developing your content strategy that social media is a communication tool. That means this is a two-sided relationship. It's a dialogue, and you can ask your audience at any point what it is they value most. Remember, effective social media usage is about delivering the golden rule of social media, which is to deliver value when, where, and how your audience wants to receive it. As you look at your 6 value buckets, identify which content falls within each of those value buckets. For example, if you're hosting or attending an event at your business and you're busy capturing behind-the-scenes photos and videos or sharing insights from key speakers, all of this would fall into your exclusive content bucket as the expert in your industry. Just keep in mind, you have 5 other buckets on the scale, all of which must remain balanced. That's why it's best to mix in content that defines the personality behind your brand. The more you can humanize yourself, the deeper connections you'll make with your audience. Once you expose the brand, you'll begin to find yourself aligning with other like-minded people through social media. The number one question we get asked when it comes to developing a social media presence is how do you separate your personal and professional lives while trying to humanize your brand? The fact is, you don't. It's about work-life integration versus separation. It's natural to blend the two rather than try to isolate them and continue to be authentic. With that said, it doesn't mean you have to give a full disclosure. If speaking on behalf of a brand, many companies require their employees to include "opinions are my own" within their Twitter bios. Keep in mind that you have full control over what you share. There's no paparazzi controlling what you share, so remember that you can show your personality and be relatable without sharing everything. Zappos.com's company-wide communication policy is be real and use your best judgment. This same thought process should apply to you and your content strategy and what you choose to share. Just know that once you post something, it's there forever. The internet doesn't forget. People have the ability to take screenshots and find ways of sharing your content with the entire World Wide Web. Listening is the secret sauce for your content strategy. At Digital Royalty, we've developed a process we refer to as the listening cycle. The social space is alive and moving at a rapid pace. You can learn a lot about your audience and the effectiveness of your content strategy by simply listening louder. Listen to your audience, activate your strategy, then listen, measure, refine, and repeat. The process starts out as experimentation and then ends up as a best practice, which will help guide your overall strategy. The topic of listening lends itself a natural segue into our next section, where we'll walk you through a demonstration on how to set up listening tools to help you become more efficient. We know your time is limited, but fear not. There are several free tools available to help you manage, monitor, and measure your social media strategy in a timely manner. Alana Golov of Digital Royalty will walk you through the following demo and show you how to set these tools up to make your life a little easier.
In this demo, we'll walk through creating a Twitter list. Twitter lists allow you to listen louder and create efficiencies for your personal brand strategy. To create a Twitter list, you just log into your Twitter account on your desktop. Once you do, you'll go to your profile and you'll see this little tab right here called Lists. You click the lists, and as you can see, we currently aren't following any list, and we're not a member of any list. To create a list, all you do is click Create List. You can name your list whatever you want. So, for example, if you are a small business and you want to keep an eye on loyal customers, we can create a loyal customer list. And then you can create a public list or a private list. A public list, anyone can go to your list and follow it themselves on their own Twitter account. A private list, only you can see the list. So, for example, for loyal customers, you'd want to make that private. So we'll do a private list for this. And then you just click Save List. And now that list has been created. Now we can go in and add Twitter accounts to that list. What lists do is allow you to group conversations so you don't have to weed through all of your followers to find specific people. This way you can go specifically to that list and see any tweets from the people that you've added. So for example, if we wanted to add Amy Jo Martin, we can do that by searching her. And as you can see, she's right there. To add someone to a list, all you do is click on the people symbol, and then there'll be a drop down. And then all you do is go add or remove from lists, and then select loyal customer. Now Amy has been added to that list. You can add as many people as you want, and you can edit and remove people from that list at any time as well. So let's add another person. Let's add Leah Broides to that list. So we can search her, go to her, add and remove from lists, and then select loyal customers. Now if we go back to our home page, we go to our profile, we can click on that list. And as you can see, only Amy's and Leah's tweets appear in this list because we've created a private list that only I can see, so I can read through and see if they've tweeted about my brand or if they tweeted anything relevant that I should reach out to. So again, Twitter lists are a great way to group conversations and listen to people. You can also follow existing lists. So for example, if we were to go to Digital Royalty, and you click on their list, as you can see, they have a public list right here. So if I wanted to subscribe to this list so that I'm also following this, I could do so by clicking on the link and then subscribe. So now I'm also subscribed to their list, their public list. So if I go back and I go to my list, as you can see, we have the private loyal customer list that I created and then the Digital Royalty team member list that DR created. So if I click on that, I can see all of the tweets from anyone that's within that list. And again, if you want to delete your list, you can do so by going back to the list page. If you click on loyal customers, this is where you can edit or delete your list. So if you want to edit it, you can change the title name and the description. You can make it public at any time if you wanted to, or change it to private if it's already public. And you can also delete the list so it no longer exists. So if I click delete, now that list is no longer available. So if we go back to our list, as you can see, it's been removed. So again, lists are a great way to create efficiencies in listening and monitoring conversations. Another free resource that you should be aware of is called HootSuite. HootSuite is a custom dashboard that you can set up to monitor and manage your Twitter accounts as well as your Facebook accounts. And it's a free resource for you. It's great for your personal brand because you can set up custom dashboard to monitor specific keywords or search terms around your business or your brand. There are also other free tools such as TweetDeck that do the same thing. To set up a HootSuite account, all you do is go to hootsuite.com and enter your Twitter password and login information, and it'll create this custom account for you. As you can see, this is my home feed. So this is all the tweets from the people that I follow on Twitter. To add a stream, all I do is simply click Add Stream right here on the left-hand side. And then I can add it based on stream. So I can add mentions, direct messages, sent tweets, favorite tweets, my tweets, and scheduled tweets. Or I can create a stream based on search terms, keywords, or lists. So for example, if I want to do a keyword, I can search for Team Renegades, the hashtag, and create a stream based on that hashtag. So all I do is add it and then add stream. And as you can see, the stream has been added, so any tweet including the hashtag Team Renegades will filter into this stream. So it's great for monitoring conversations around a specific hash word or keyword. And you can add as many streams as you want. Right here, you can add a social network. So if I wanted to add my Facebook page, my Google+, LinkedIn, Foursquare, my WordPress blog, or my Mixi, I can do so and add those right here. If you have your own personal brand, plus you have businesses that you're monitoring on Twitter, you can create several different accounts. As you can see up here, I have several different Twitter accounts and Facebook pages so that I can monitor those conversations in addition to my own personal brand. So if I want to add another stream, I could do so. So for example, if I wanted to add mentions, I could do that. So those are my mentions on my Twitter account. Just click Add Stream, and now that has been added. I can position the streams as I want. So if I wanted to drag, all you do is drag and drop the stream, and it replaces the order of your current stream. So it's all based on how you want to monitor and listen to conversations. So for example, if you're a small business and you are based in Chicago and you're in the travel industry, you could add a stream based on Chicago. So I could add a stream. So now anyone that mentioned Chicago on vacation will filter into this stream. So I can reach out to them and engage in conversation. If I am a company based in Chicago that can provide value to those Twitter users, I can reach out. You can also delete your streams at any time by clicking the X. You can filter the preferences and filter the content by keywords or Cloud Score. So that's another good tool and resource that HootSuite provides. And I can delete the stream. And as you can see, it's deleted. You can also add lists. So any lists that I've created on my Twitter account, I can add those right here. So for example, media. Now I have all of the people within my media list in this stream right here that I can monitor. So again, HootSuite is just a great tool that helps you manage and monitor and listen to your Twitter followers and your Twitter conversation. And it's great for personal branding because you can keep a close eye on every conversation happening all in one location, and you can completely customize it based on your needs. Another free resource that's great for shortening links and saving on characters on Twitter is called Bitly. If you go to bitly.com, you can create a free account and set up your own Bitly account. What Bitly also does is create trackable links. So when you tweet a link out, you can see how many clicks they are, you can see how many clicks there were and where they came from. So this is great for monitoring how effective your content is from a personal brand strategy. So once you've created an account, this is what it'll look like. So if I wanted to shorten, for example, Digital Royalty University, I could do so. So all I do is copy the URL and then paste it right here on the upper right hand side. And then a shortened link will be generated. So as you can see, it's public. I can make it private if I wanted to, and I can also make it custom. So based on what I want the custom link to be, if I wanted to create a test link, I could do so, and it create a custom link. As you can see, it's already taken, so it'll tell you what links are available and what links are not. Test 1. That one is also taken already. So as you can see, test DR link wasn't taken, so it creates a custom Bitly link for me. So all I would have to do is copy that link to the clipboard and then go over to Twitter and tweet it. It also stores your past shortened links so you can see what the stats are on those. So for example, if I were to click this Royal Baby Watch, I can view the stats on that link. So you can see all of the clicks over all time by the hour, 24 hours, or 7 days. And so you can see exactly how many clicks were per day, where they came from, so were they shared on Twitter or other sites. And you can also see the geographic location of each of your clicks. So you can see that they're in the United States, Alaska, as well as Australia. So you can see the breakdown of total clicks and where they came from. And you can also see who shared the content. So again, this is a great way to gauge how effective your content is and your strategy, and if you need to adjust it based on the fact if you're not getting clicks or you are getting clicks. It also helps you save on characters within Twitter by creating a shortened link. A great resource for your personal brand, if you're monitoring your own personal Facebook page as well as business pages, is the Pages apps. So to download a Pages apps, you just go to your iPhone or your Droid app store and download this app right here, Pages. What Pages does is allow you to sign in first. So once you're logged in, you can manage multiple pages as well as see insights and admin controls from this application. So what this has over the regular Facebook app is more admin settings for pages specifically. So I can scroll through and see all of the pages that I have on this account and associated with my account. So I can go in and manage specific accounts. So for example, you can see new likes at the top as well as comments. You can also go to analytics. So if I wanted to go to my insights for DR, I could do so by looking right there. That's something that's unique that you cannot do from the regular iPhone or Droid Facebook app. You can also manage admin settings. So you can go in and make additional people admins or remove them from the admin status. You can also edit your settings within the settings app. So again, this is just another tool that you can use while you're on the go and not in front of your computer that helps you manage each of your brand pages that are associated with your profile page on Facebook.
During this lesson, we'll introduce you to a few people with successful personal brands and explore how these individuals are excelling within the social media space by developing a strong online brand. We understand that your time is likely limited, so rather than having a presence on every social media outlet, and there are a lot of options, it's more important to pick a few and develop a strong strategy. Play to win versus playing not to lose. Go all in. It's no longer enough to simply create an account. You must have a dedicated strategy on how you're going to build an engaged community. Next, we'll walk you through a few of the major social platforms. But if you want to learn more about the ins and outs of setting up and optimizing specific platforms, give our Twitter, Facebook, and emerging platforms classes a spin. Let's begin with Twitter. Twitter is the outlet which Amy Jo Martin has been able to successfully build her personal brand. Here's a random fact for you. Shaquille O'Neal and Amy Jo Martin were the first Twitter accounts to be verified when Twitter rolled out the new verified account feature. Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, let's take a look at an account of someone who does an excellent job of sharing their personal and professional brand, Scott Monty. Scott is the global head of social media at Ford Motor Company. We've enjoyed following along as Scott continues to innovate at Ford and make an impact within the digital space. Scott clearly has defined his value balance scale and delivers valuable content from each of those buckets on a regular basis. Because of his cohesive strategy, he's been able to build a follower base of more than 96,000 Twitter followers. He shares content on social media, digital trends, and does a great job of organically talking about Ford without over-promoting the brand he works for. As a regular contributor and speaker, he's able to position himself as an expert and gain the respect he deserves from his followers. Scott's Twitter presence and personal brand help humanize the humans behind the Ford logo. Scott also properly tags other accounts, retweets other users, uses trackable links, posts photos from his Instagram account, and keeps his followers engaged with lighthearted tweets. Hat tip to you, Scott. Facebook is another outlet that allows each of us to further establish our online personal brands and build a network that we can leverage to build relationships or promote upcoming initiatives. Another friend of Digital Royalty, Stephanie Miller, the social media editor at Self Magazine, is an example of an individual who has leveraged Facebook as an outlet to grow her online personal brand. Because Stephanie doesn't have a brand Facebook page, she has enabled the follower setting within Facebook that allows people to follow her page instead of becoming a Facebook friend. Followers only see public posts, which gives her the ability to share specific content with her followers and her friends. This can all be done within your settings and is a good alternative if you don't want to create a brand page for your personal brand on Facebook. Stephanie has built an impressive follower base of more than 71,000 followers. Because they follow her, they get an exclusive glimpse into her interesting life. Stephanie is also a regular contributor to blogs including Self Magazine, which she promotes on her page and helps to add credibility to her personal brand. When she posts, she successfully includes visually impactful photos, videos, or links, and also tags the appropriate brand within the post, which only helps increase her visibility. As you can see from her diverse content, she posts a blend of work-related and personal content, a great example of work-life integration. Because Stephanie has been successful building her presence online, It's led her to sponsorship opportunities from brands like Adidas. A photo is worth 1,000 words, right? Instagram allows you to capture emotion and share a story virtually if done correctly. Now you have the choice to share your story virtually on Instagram using either photos or videos. It's powerful to see what stories can be told with a simple photo or a short 15-second clip. Another pal of Digital Royalty, Andy Elwood, is a master of many trades, from his role at Waze and his regular contributions to Forbes, to being a very credible New York foodie. Judging by his Instagram photos, Andy clearly has a strong love for New York City and pocket squares. But who doesn't, right? He posts a variety of captivating photos, from pictures of New York City to his latest culinary finds, and is able to capture a story with each photo he takes. Emotion and humor shine through. Andy also successfully tags brands in his posts and uses hashtags so that his photos are searchable. He's achieved a healthy balance between his personal life and work life. His photos are well thought out and include powerful imagery that keep his audience captive. Just by looking at his Instagram content, I can clearly identify his value buckets: New York, food and drinks, travel, men's fashion, inspiration, and business expertise, all laced with a little humor. Can't go wrong. High five, Andy! As a side note, we encourage you to watch 2 of the first Instagram videos that were posted when Instagram launched their new video feature. Props to both Nike and Lululemon. If you're looking for an easy solution to host and share more detailed content without investing in a full-blown website or WordPress page for your personal brand, Tumblr is a great application to use. Amy Jo personally created a Renegades Write the Rules Tumblr page to share the experience of writing her first book. Tumblr has made huge strides in perfecting their user experience and mobile application. Tumblr makes it easy to share photos, videos, copy, quotes, and music directly from your mobile phone. You don't have to be in front of your desktop to use it. Tumblr also allows you to create a custom Tumblr design by either purchasing their templates or utilizing a programmer and designer. You can create a memorable and unique experience for your audience on what appears to be a website, but is actually just your Tumblr page. Let's take a look at Rebecca Minkoff's Tumblr site as an example. Rebecca is a well-known fashion designer who's done an excellent job at utilizing Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and Tumblr to expose the human behind her brand. Tumblr allows you to link elsewhere and promote other accounts or websites. So for example, if we were to click on the Dress Up post, it links directly to her Pinterest page. Tumblr gives you the freedom to determine what layout and template you want to use to organize your posts and further share the story behind your personal brand. That concludes our personal branding class. Thank you for joining in. You should now have an understanding of the fundamentals needed to expose your personal online brand and own your voice. Just remember, humans connect with humans, not logos, and humanization will lead to monetization. So get after it and good luck. We encourage you to share your case studies from your own business or personal brand with us. We'd love to hear them. Email support@thedigitalroyalty.com. Last but certainly not least, thank you from all of us at Digital Royalty and Teach for America for purchasing this class. Because you did, we're now able to give a class back to teachers. Here's a message from Victor Wakefield, Executive Director at Teach for America, Las Vegas Valley.
Hi, I'm Victor Wakefield. I'm the Executive Director of Teach for America in the Las Vegas Valley. Thank you for your purchase of a class from Digital Royalty University. By making that purchase, by doing that, you just gave a class to a teacher who is looking for ways to increase the use of social media in their classroom, to increase student achievement and connections with their families that they teach.
If you have questions or feedback you'd like to share, shoot us a note to support@thedigitalroyalty.com or shoot us a tweet @digitalroyalty or @Amy Jo Martin. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/digitalroyalty. If you'd like to purchase Amy Jo Martin's New York Times bestseller book, Renegades Write the Rules, it's now available in our Digital Royalty University storefront and on bookshelves everywhere. Give it a spin and we'd love to know what you think. Be sure to include hashtag Team Renegades in your tweets. Thank you.